Today I am taking these pieces of square stock that I made out of some all thread. And I'm going to make some Christmas tree ornaments to put on my Etsy. They're going to be candy canes, so I'm going to go ahead and forge these a little bit, straighten them out, put a twist on them, and put a hook on them. I also have a couple of little dies, because I know a lot of people like to put dates on Christmas ornaments. I know we do. Every time you decorate the tree, you read the dates as you put them on. So I'm going to go ahead and run through these. I got 3 done this morning, and I got 6 more in the forge. So starting with all thread made this a lot more labor intensive. But I had this all thread and I just didn't want to throw it away. So just I ground all the threads off on the belt sander with a 40 grit belt, so it didn't take too long, but I had 48 inches of this stuff to do, so I'm going to go ahead and put the forge on and just process these, and I'll show you a little bit of this. So just a quick, easy project. Like I said, I'm going to put it on my Etsy and hopefully sell them for Christmas. If not, whatever. Knocking down any threads that might be left on the stock. Not really threads, just grooves. If I still had threads on here, it'd be a bunch of cold shuts. A cold shut is basically where the metal folds over top of itself. And it's not good. Alright, so when I cut the all thread, I cut it right around, it was right around 8 inches. And that's a very nominal number. They were not all quite 8 inches, but really don't matter. But with the size jig that I have and the size candy canes I'm making, yeah, you need at least 7 or 8 inches for them to look right. So right now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the dates in them before I put the twist on them, because I think it looks pretty neat to watch the numbers twist with the candy cane. (2022) And I did hammer these, and I do have some more thread showing on the edges. That's okay, because when I twist it, I'm going to clean everything up with a belt sander. And I don't know if you can see the date in there or not. Maybe 2022. So I'm going to process these. Then we'll go to the next step, which is probably going to be the twist. Every year we try to buy a Christmas ornament with that year's date. It's kind of a tradition that we've done, and brings back a lot of memories when you decorate your Christmas tree. Sometimes when we go on a vacation that year, we'll pick up a Christmas ornament. And it'll have the place where you were and the date and all that good stuff. So It's kind of nice when you're decorating a tree. Bring back those memories. So I've had these little dies for a long time. I just never use them. But for something like this, I just think it's a good idea. Oh shoot. That one might be worth $55,000. Might be a double stamp. Where did he go? Nah, that's all right. No double stamp, just a regular. Just a regular. Ow, why do I keep missing? It hurts. Oh, I dare not try it again. I got it. It does not feel good when you miss. Ugh. Drop, drop, drop. Always picking stuff up. Kind of get in the groove of this a little bit. Alright, so they are all stamped out. Now I'm going to get them back in the forge. We're going to straighten them and twist them in the vise. Alright, I'll twist up a couple of them. I usually have to twist them in 2 segments, so take these over to the belt sander. We're gonna knock off the rough edges, round them up, kind of cone the ends. We'll be ready to bend them in the jig. So hold on. My mark on these and brush them up, then we're going to put some beeswax on. Alright, so I'll let these cool down for a moment. Then I'll go throw them in a bucket of water and go ahead and get them on the wire wheel. And then we're going to heat them all up and put some beeswax on them. And I have to put beeswax on the 3 I made this morning. So I kind of changed my style a little bit, and I think I like the ones I did second better. I mean, these still look good, but the twist is raised, and this looks like a twist. This one here is a little bit more subtle, and it seems rounder and flatter, and it looks more like a candy cane. So in the future, which is probably going to be maybe next Christmas, I don't think we're going to get to doing any more of these, this year, but yeah, I think I like this way better. And ideally, I would start off with probably a 5/16 square bar. And starting off with the 5/16 square bar, I could just kind of hit the edges, twist it, and go from there. Yeah, using all thread created a lot more work on my end, but that's okay. Time is available today, so I'm not too concerned about that. But we will let these cool down. I'm going to brush them up, oil them up, and then we'll show you what they look like. Alright, so I'm getting these some beeswax on these. Hope to get these up on the store as soon as possible. Over at Etsy. Kind of caught me by surprise, going into Thanksgiving. I did have some stuff listed, some Christmas stuff listed. It's already sold, so I probably should have started preparing a lot earlier, probably back in the beginning of October, because now I'm going into Christmas and I really don't have any Christmas stuff on my Etsy channel. But I do have a bunch of other stuff that I've been working on listed, and trying to keep my listings up over 100, but it's kind of tough. I'm not complaining because the stuff's selling, but I really didn't start getting any I really didn't start getting a bunch of hits until I got my channel up to around 100 items, and then it really seemed to have taken off. I mean, some of the stuff's been on there since day one, and it's not moving. But I don't know if there's some sort of item count in their algorithm or what, but it seems like ever since I got 100 items listed, I started to get a lot more traffic. I don't know how any of that stuff works. I'm just a hobbyist who trying to make some extra money to support the hobby. Like today, I had to go out and buy some WD-40 and some propane. And that was $81. And I probably put in an order for abrasives tonight. I need some 2x72s. And that'll probably be about another $80. So it'll be a $160 weekend just in supplies. You know, I really enjoy doing this metal work and knife making, blacksmithing, whatever you want to call it, but it is expensive. The Etsy store pretty much pays for my hobby, and I'm grateful for that. I'm not going to say it's a net zero. I do make a little bit, but I just leave it in my account for put back into Metal Man Productions. I'm not going to say it's a smithy or a shop. It's just kind of it's still in the hobby phase. I don't think I'm ever going to get to a point where it's an actual smithy. But the Etsy channel does, the Etsy store does, daggone it, dropping everything today. The Etsy store does help pay for the hobby. And it kind of gets rid of some of this stuff, because before I had an Etsy store, stuff was just piling up everywhere. And I really had to change my way of thinking, because I was never the type to sell anything that I made. I'm not going to say that I'm greedy, but I would just say I get attached to things. So if I make something and I really like it, it took me a long time to get used to the fact that, yeah, just because I really like this, it doesn't mean it's going to hang around. But now that I have transitioned to being able to park myself with the things that I make, I get really excited for whoever's getting the stuff. And I guess that's the difference. Yeah, I mean, I had stuff piled up everywhere. Knives, tomahawks, hooks, you name it. Actually, all that stuff I had piled up got me started on Etsy. I'm not going to say that I was saving it all to start the Etsy, but it did kind of work out that way. When I first started my Etsy store, I had a lot of stuff to list. I think I was up to over 50 items right off the get-go. So not a bad thing. I probably got enough beeswax in my handle to do the last one. I am just kind of babbling right now, sharing some behind the scenes thoughts. But yeah, if you have a store and you're watching this, now's the time to get your stuff up. People are looking. People know that shipping's going to be a disaster, and they're going to be buying early. And I'm hoping that I have a pretty good, hoping I got a pretty good season. This is actually the first, this is my first Christmas with, I'm not going to say it's my first Christmas with Etsy, but it's my first Christmas since my Etsy store. I'm using that liberally, took off. So I've sold 56 items, so it's not a bad accomplishment for a hobbyist. I don't believe it is, but see how Christmas goes, see how the season goes, and see what sells, and kind of build from there. These candy canes were a quick, easy project. You know, you just do a couple of them. It's not a bad gig, you know, if you're just wanting to get into this kind of stuff. But yeah, I did 9 of them today, and it actually turned into a little bit of a chore. Kind of had an assembly line going, so to speak, but that's kind of the way you have to do it if you're going to sell stuff, because propane is expensive, and you have to do stuff in batches. Anymore, when I make a knife, I usually have 3 of them going at the same time. Just to stand there and let the forge be empty while I'm beating on something, it's really wasteful. So I've come to learn that, you know, you got to have at least 2 or 3 irons in the forge to kind of save money, you know, and it can get really tricky because it's hard. You have to focus on all 3 at the same time and give all 3 as much as tension as if you were just doing one. You know, if you were just doing one item, you could give it all your full attention. But it's just so wasteful when the forge is running and there's nothing in it. So I try to keep multiple items going at the same time. But anywho, I'm just babbling. I don't know how much of this will even wind up on the channel, because this is not a talking channel, but I am kind of just kind of throwing some stuff out there. All the guys on YouTube, you know, they're way beyond where I'm at, but I do post a Rumble too, and I've noticed that a lot of this content is starting to get more and more exposure over there, so people are starting to kind of get interested over there. So kind of like the Wild West, so to speak. You know, I got almost 300 subscribers on Rumble, and I'm grateful for that. And but you know, I guess just because of the nature of the personalities who tend to go to YouTube, and the natures of the personalities of the people who tend to go to Rumble, it's a lot less interaction on Rumble. But hey, you know, whatever. Channel's growing over there, YouTube, and finally got my ass off my shoulders and decided to just get that going again. So see where that takes us. I'm not going to post any of my old videos because they're just kind of not even relevant at this point. But anywho, I'm going to do some final pictures and wrap this video up. So thank you all for stopping by. Remember, check out Middleman Productions on Etsy. You can find me on Rumble, you can find me on YouTube, and that's it right now. So y'all have a good one. Thanks. Bye.